We're continuing Perek Gimel Halacha Zayin on what the Rambam says. Al Divrei Rambam, that somebody says that there is a creator, just that he is of a physical essence, and you can has a image to him. That person is a min. The Ravid attacks the Rambam. Amar Avrom. V'lo mekol hazeh min. Why does he call such a person a min? There were others greater than him who also had this mistake, according to what they saw in the pasuk, because we find aspects of Hashem referred to in physical, as it says, more more than they saw in the words of the Chachomim, which tend to confuse the mind. The Kesef Mishnah wonders on what the Ravid says. How could he say those who are of the opinion that HaKadosh Baruch Hu has a physical build are greater than the Rambam? And it could be that actually the language of the Ravid is found in the Sefer Ikorim. Omar Avrom, even though the basis of faith is so, to believe that there's no physical being and a person cannot in his mind comprehend Hashem. However, somebody who does believe that Hashem has a physical being because he looks at the psukim and the midrashos, you can't call him a min. He's just making a mistake. And even according to this nisach that we have in our printed here in the Rambam, this is his intent. The Ravid only disagrees with the concept of why he should be called a min. Rambam says he's a min. That's what his problem is. Peirush HaMeir explains the giyasa of Gedolim v'Tovim Mimenu. What does it mean, greater and better people than him? That as it says in the pasuk that they said to Yitzchak, it means that we find this lotion of Gedolim Mimenu, meaning that from him they became greater. And the Ravid wants to say that greater people than you and me have made this mistake, and that you can't call them minim. So he's not referring only to the aspect of the Rambam. He's saying even about himself that such a mistake can be made by great people. And there's no reason why they shouldn't have a chedek l'olam haba. There are those who ask, even somebody who denies one letter in the Torah is called an apikoros. And why is he only called count a min those that deny the 13 principles, rather than even lesser magnitude? The Barbanel, the Radvaz, in the Chassam Sofer, and that it doesn't see any value in the disagreement whether the 13 ikrim are there as according to the Rambam, or there's just a 3 basic ikrim, like the Ri Alboy and Sefer Ikrim. What are those 3? The fact that there exists Hashem, the Torah is min hashamayim, and reward and punishment. Because if they are all included in what's mentioned, it's just how you give it a name, how you emphasize what it means. And the Chassam Sofer adds, but my Talmud showed me that the Tefillah have to view me, which is Yigdal Likim Chaim V'Yishtabach, which by the way Chassidim don't say because they feel it has a problem with the Ari's Kabbalah. Hamuva B'Shlo HaKodesh, and it's found in Sidurim, and im Yoshe Ikrim Shloish Esre. It says that there's 13 principles. That it was a Kabbalah would seem even before the Rambam that there was 13 Ikrim. If somebody doesn't know these 13 ikrim, is he called a min? The Rae Gann says if a person doesn't know a portion of the Torah because he didn't learn it, there's no lack of emunah for him. But the Yud Gimel Ikrim, there's a chiyuv to know them, and he doesn't know them. If he lacks one of them, we'll turn the page. That is the lack of emunah. That's why he argues that the Baal Sefer Ikrim, who disagrees on the Rambam, who had 13 Ikrim and didn't allow 3, because if all the Ikrim are found by themselves, then the din should be that if he doesn't know them, he's not called a min. But someone that he doesn't know the 13, it's lacking in his amunah. In other words, he's saying the 3 basics, as we said, belief in Hashem, Torah min hashamayim, and Schav Nevoinish. But somebody who doesn't know all 13, he lacks in amunah. Therefore, the Rambam says that every one of them is separate. If he doesn't know them because he didn't learn them, he's lacking in belief, and he's considered a min because he's lacking in his belief. He brings divrei Chaim Brisk. That when it comes to apostasy, one cannot say I made a mistake, I didn't know, it was an accident, nobody taught me, because the shogi geoinus, he's lacking in amunah, in ikri adas. It's impossible to be part of Klal Yisrael without emunah. Chaim wants to also says in his language, apikoros miskein. He's talking apikoros, but it's not because he wants to be an apikoros, because he's just a fool. Nebuch shemach, because of his lack of study, he became an apikoros because they didn't teach him, and he's a shogig. And so the Rabbeinu Chaim answers the Hasogas Haravid, the Shitas Rambam, that he teaches us that even though a person is not at fault, but he's making a mistake in understanding Mincha Hashem Nadori Bakoyach, etc., etc., still there's no p'tur of saying lack of knowledge. And the fact that he thinks that Hashem is a physical being, he lacks an ikra in the mainstay of faith. And therefore, the Rambam placed them among the minim that don't have a chayil ulam haba. And because our Mishnah adds that there's a chiyuv to go ahead and to learn what the psukim mean in order to achieve the true emunah, that he's not a bal guf. And somebody who doesn't do that is considered a min. A tinoik shenishbo, that meaning a child that was taken as a prisoner in his youth and never knew he was Jewish, and he never understood that one has to not only read the psukim of the Torah, is not among the minim. But according to the Grach, it could be he's considered not because of a lack of faith. What caused it to happen doesn't matter. Machon Nesher explains that the Ravid is of the opinion, like the Grach, that you can't have a concept of shogig b'kfira. But he just disagrees that he's not called a min, since the psukim, the Torah itself is what caused him to make mistakes, and he's not a toys only when he says shogig, when he says this is what I believe is the facts, rather than from psukim. It's interesting. The Rambam says things that are not specifically found in the Torah, which are learned from the Limudim, also have a question of whether you can be punished for them, since he is utilizing what he believes. He's subjugating his intellect to that of Chazal, which he doesn't understand. The Chazon Ish writes that it could be that even the Rambam would admit to the Raavad that somebody who believes in the first 3, but he thinks there's a picture to God and he's a physical being, and he does so because he didn't comprehend the psukim, not the normal way. He's a Yisrael kosher v'toiv, and he doesn't become a min ela shehu b'klal hatoiv. He's among those who make mistakes. And we've completed Halacha Zion.